going on, everybody? This is Living Your Purpose, episode, I think, 11. We are doing very, very well. My name is SJ. I'm from Inner Soul Development. That's my company. I am a personal life coach and transformational speaker. What I do is I get you off your autopilot, take you off course to your greater self. I find that missing piece to your puzzle that you consider a rough life, but it's not. It's beautiful. And so therefore, as long as you know how to work it well, and I'm trained to do that for you. And on the other side of me, my beautiful co-host is...
Hello, I am Danielle K. Anderson, also known as Danielle, the VP or the executive. I am an entrepreneur, makeup artist, interfaith minister, Toastmaster, etc., and many other things, including the mayor of Crazy Town and a spiritual counselor and life coach. And as SJ said, welcome to Living Your Purpose. We are so happy that you're here. This is episode 11, and it's a very special episode because it's our first official interview. And we have an amazing, inspirational guest today by the name of JMUGA. He is, or Joba, or he's got a whole bunch of names too, but he is a regular here with the Living Your Purpose team, and we're really happy and excited that he agreed to come on and share his story with us and help people get to know him better and to inspire others in living their own purpose. So, whenever he's ready, we're going to invite Joba to come on air. He didn't waste no time, did he? Okay.
Joba!
Welcome to Living Your Purpose officially. How's it going, Joba?
Hey, how you doing, everybody? Thank you for the invite. Thank you for having me, everybody here.
Right, and we appreciate you, brother. We really do. In this scope, Lord have mercy, in this blab, I really want you guys to, if you have any questions, definitely hold them.
If you just type them in the chat.
Yeah, if you can type, definitely type them in the chat for any questions that you may have. But this is all about inspiring, encouraging, motivating individuals. And this is an inspiring story, and it will inspire you to understand and have knowledge. And that's what we're all here to do. And knowledge helps us grow. And so, therefore, that's what Living Your Purpose is all about, teaching and inspiring others. So this is a really inspiring story. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are going to have, we have right now what we call the love seat. It's closed right now because we want to focus on Joba and his tale, but we will open it up later if anybody wants to come in, ask questions or comments and all of that kind of thing. So, Joba, welcome again. You know what? I don't want to start asking questions. I want, if you would introduce people who may be living under a rock and don't know who you are, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about why you're here.
Yes.
My name is Joba JMUGA. I am 100% Puerto Rican, representing for the Latino community. And I'm 25. I'm a quarter of a century. Let me get it right. And there we go.
Excellent. So let me ask you, where did you get, just real quick, where did you get JMUGA, Joba? Like, where did you, if you don't mind, do you want to reveal your real name, or just like, where did you get that name from?
Well, JMUGA, I when I came to the States, I came here when I was 7, but unfortunately, I kept going back and forth to Puerto Rico, and then my father was very ill. And so we had to move to New York City or to the Bronx. And then I went to high school. I had to continue studying or whatever. So I had to go to the Bronx. And then I met this guy. And it was surrounded. I started dancing and I started rapping. Hi, my name is JB with the 1, 2, 3. I just did it like that. And everybody was like, oh! And mad hype. And then all of a sudden, this guy comes out of nowhere. Like the train stopped. Everybody was looking at me. All the attention was on me. And this guy comes out, excuse me. So, I got scared. I thought it was like the cops that are going to come and arrest me for doing a show. And this is my new artist. And I looked at him like, who are you? I looked at him weird. And then he was like, yo, his name is JMUGA. And I said, what? JMUGA, JWAGA, what? So after that, I just started from there, and that's where I was born. I was born in the Bronx. My name is Giovanni. my real name is Giovanni. I really don't like my name, but my real name is Giovanni, and that's short for Joba Joba. That's where Joba Joba comes from.
Very good, very good. That's what I wanted to ask you, so so people understand that part of it.
Right. Okay, so tell us, Joba, what are you here for? What's your purpose today?
Since we're living your purpose, what is your purpose?
To help people and to touch people and to inform people and to be a teacher to people about a condition that a lot of people are very not informed with, or that don't know pretty much a lot of it. So that's basically what I think my purpose is for, and I am gonna live it till the wheels fall off.
Good.
Fantastic. And so what is that condition?
Well, that condition is called HIV, or as other people will consider it, AIDS, or whatever the case may be. So it's everybody says when they first hear HIV, they automatically add it or combine it with AIDS, but a lot of people out here in this world is very get it confused. They get the two conditions confused.
Okay, so for those who are oblivious or don't know or don't understand, we're here for understanding, right, guys? So can you explain the two and the difference between the two so that they understand?
Well, let's start with the worst one. AIDS is it basically gets your system and it controls it. It says, I am in control of your body, of your system, of your whole mechanism. It tells you and it controls you what to do. If the disease wants to say you're going to be sleeping day and night, it will literally set you to sleep day and night. You know what I mean? Or if the disease says, hey, you're going to do this or that, you do it because it's controlling you. But HIV is like it's a treatment. You get treatment, you get treated for it, and you say, no, I'm in control. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the one that tells you what to do. And that's basically the difference between HIV and AIDS.
Okay, so let me you guys hearing me okay? Because I'm having some.
No, we're good. You're good.
Okay. So for those who do get confused with HIV/AIDS, here's the thing: HIV is an infection that anybody can get from a variety of ways. Some people are born with it and can live their entire lives with HIV. If HIV is unchecked and not treated, you can develop AIDS, which is a syndrome that does take over your body. You can control the virus within your body. But if you don't, then AIDS can and will develop. So that's the major difference. And why people get confused, because everyone with AIDS does have HIV, but everybody with HIV does not have AIDS.
Correct.
That's accurate?
Absolutely.
Yes, that is correct, Danielle. Yes.
And so, okay, go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I just want to clarify that.
So when a person, so you're here basically not only inspire, but definitely to educate. Okay, to definitely educate them, because I think that a lot of people combine those two into one, right? And so it's very important for them to understand that anybody can get it, right? You can lay dormant in your body. You won't even know. That's why it's very good to always know your status constantly. So it's all about education, and we're glad that JMUGA is here, or Joba is here to be able to not only educate, but it's going to inspire as well.
So with that being said, Joba, why don't you tell us about your history with HIV?
Well, I was born April 30th, 1990. And from there on, it was a small island in Puerto Rico called Culebra, Puerto Rico. And the hospitals in that small island, since it is a small island, they don't have the proper ways to, deal with that kind of situation. So what happened was that they got me on a plane and they brought me to the main island, and they brought me to like a bigger hospital, as you say. And then there I met 29 kids. When I got to the big hospital, I met 29 other kids that had the same situation with the same condition. And damn it, I wrote it wrong. With the same condition, and then we became friends. It became like your brothers and sisters, And then when I met them, I became good friends with them and everything else. And I thought that we was gonna be the friends forever. But then slowly but surely, as time went by, it just got, like, people just kept moving, or they kept telling me, "Yo," I was like, "Hey, where's this person? Where's that person?" And they were like, "Oh, they moved. They moved to, different areas of the United States. They moved to, wherever, Florida, whatever." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." But then as I was growing up, I kept seeing less and less people move, kept moving, until one time, in that same hospital, the doctor was like, "Hey, come in with, with my grandmother," and because I'm a grandmother's kid. And then they said, "Hey, Joba, the real reason why we didn't want to tell you, or the real reason why your friends are almost gone, all of them, is because they were born with HIV as a condition." And then, and then that's when I found out what it was that I had and everything else.
Wow. So with those 29, they all had they were all infected. And out of those 29, how many were actually still around?
You mean now or?
Now? Yeah. How many are with us now?
Oh, now. Well, now in 2015, there's none left. There's only one, and that's myself.
That's powerful.
From the 29 kids.
How did that affect you growing up, to realize that all your friends, well, not all your friends maybe, but all these kids that you grew up with and you got to know, to be the only one of them left as an adult?
I mean, because they told my grandmother that I wasn't gonna last to 18, so they always told her to give me everything, and to, whatever I opened my mouth with, she said she would give it to me, and she has, and she did a great job at it. But now it just feels like I have to continue this fight. You know what I mean? God won't give you a burden that you cannot carry, and I think that the reason why I'm still here is to basically do what I'm doing now. And I thank SJ and I thank Danielle, the VP, for giving me this opportunity and this platform to do so and recording it. And I think that that's why God has me here, is to be a spokesman, or to talk about it or share my story with the world and tell them, what's going on, and what they could do to prevent it, and what they could do to be safe out there, because a lot of people nowadays in 2015, they don't even have the audacity or the guts to do so.
Right. Now I'm going to give some statistics. And Jay, I think that we're having some connection issues. If you could refresh, that'd be great. And then I'm going to read this information. Yeah. You. So, according to the National Institute of Health, in 1994, which is shortly after Joba was born, the average age of a child infected with HIV lived to be about between 8 and 9 years old. And in 2006, that number doubled, thankfully, to about, or more than doubled, to the average age being about 18. However, it's now 2015, and Joba made it to 25. So that's, if that's not saying something about purpose, So what do you think about that? I mean, you said it, you touched on it a little bit, Joba, but to say, you beat the odds like tenfold. You beat the odds over and over and over again. So how does that make you feel, really?
I mean, I think that the reason why I keep doing it is because, I'm doing the job that God has sent me to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that is to basically people about it and inform people about it that don't know about it. And I will continue doing so because that's what is my purpose. That's the reason why I'm here. And yeah, I think that that's why I surpassed the odds of the people that said that I was only going to last 18.
Right.
Right.
So, okay.
You
So
could.
when you kind of understood the 18, as far as the time frame when you were going to, they said that you were not going to live past that age. What type of mindset did you have at that point? Because I just want to understand how your mind was working at that moment when you knew that there was a time limit. Did you kind of get discouraged? Did you fall in the funk? Like, how was your mindset at that time?
Uh-oh. We lost him for a second.
That's okay. We're going to get him back.
Reposition, Joe. Move your computer and come on back. Catch that Wi-Fi.
Thank you, everybody, for definitely coming in. Definitely tell your friend. Just tweet this out, and so that everybody can get informed. It'll be a great thing. Thank you so much. Is Joba back?
Yep, he's coming back right now.
Okay.
Damn, internet. That's off. Internet gave me minute.
Yeah, I understand. So, ask the question again, SJ.
Sure. When you were when they diagnosed you as not living as past a certain time period,
Mm-hmm.
when you were little, you didn't quite understand. But I'm sure as you got older, you quite understood the severity of it and the time limit. And I just wanted to know, as you understood it, like, what was your mindset during that time? Were you discouraged? Were you trying to just do as much as possible? What was your mindset during that time when you understood that you had a certain time limit?
I just see it like this, and I saw it like this. I have a job to do, and the job, I have a choice, and the choices are, I could continue the pattern and not tell people about it and keep it to myself. You understand what I'm saying? Or, come out to the person and not wait till we get into the bedroom department, or not to get, really, really close in the bedroom department and, tell them. So, I had a choice, either tell them or not tell people about it. And I just decided to tell people when they gave me the option that I have control over other people's lives, and and that I could, if I don't tell them, or if I don't take care of myself, I could eventually kill them. You know what I mean? I could eventually kill a person, which that's not in me. That's not into myself. So I was like, I'm not doing that. I want to make a change, and I want to make a difference. So I'm going to tell, and I'm going to disclose my situation, even if I get accepted or not.
So you took it as you weren't really concerned as much for your own self and how long you had, but you wanted to make sure that those around you had a decent shot at sticking around as long as they could.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Wow.
So why don't you tell us, and I know you've told this story before, but some people may not know, why don't you tell us what it was like for you growing up? Because some people, they might catch it when they're a teenager or an adult because of certain behaviors, but you didn't have an opportunity to make a decision. So besides back and forth to the hospitals, how did you deal with it growing up? What was it like for you?
Well, I eventually, my grandmother always had to disclose it, because that was basically what her job was supposed to be. That is to disclose it and tell, like high schools or the schools that I went to, told the principal and everybody else. So one time I came and I got bitten in my ear, unfortunately, because it was around the time of Mike Tyson. And I guess that the guy wanted to be cool as Mike Tyson, and he decided to bite my ear. And then I remember that they grabbed me like this. Like the teacher grabbed me, like left her whole print and everything marked on me, took me outside. And was like, then everybody came, the police, the ambulance, everybody. And then the grandfather told my grandma, listen, I'll keep my mouth shut if you pay me. You know what I mean? And then the principal was like, "Oh my God, this guy has HIV. Get away from him. Don't buy any food from his grandmother because you're gonna get infected." So I was always like spaced out. Like every single time I came through the hallways or whatever the case might be, everybody was like, "Whoop!" You know what I mean? Like, let's go this way, let's go that way. But as growing up, I just learned you're not $100 bill for everybody to like you. You know what I mean? I see it as if you like me and you want to be part of my life, fine, that's good. But if you don't, it's your loss, not mine.
So when you were going through that situation with school, I guess that's from elementary to high school.
Right.
How did you? I'm sure you dealt with a lot of. Did you deal with any feelings of depression or anger, or like explain the feeling of that situation being like, because me, like, when I was in school, I was, I never was bullied, but I seen people, not mistreat other individuals, and I could see how it reacted or had an effect on them. So with that, them doing what they did to you, like, did you go through any type of anger or jealousy? Not jealousy, but anger, depression, any of those feelings?
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, obviously, when you like a person, you know what I mean? Or when you see a girl that you like, or if you see somebody that you want to be really friends with, or he's part of the cool club, or whatever the situation is, and you want to become part of them, and then all of a sudden you come and you tell them the situation, and they just leave you or be like, "Oh my God, get away from me! Don't talk to me! You're not cool anymore as you used to be," or whatever. You feel depressed, and you feel like, you know what I mean? What's the point of me being alive? And you know what I mean? Nobody likes you. Nobody cares. You even feel ugly. You know what I mean? You feel like you're just ugly to society. You're ugly to everybody just because of something that you didn't even ask to be born with. And yeah, you do get depressed, and you do feel lonely, and you do feel down and out, and that you don't want to keep on striving for more, or whatever the case may be. You do get lonely and depressed and all that other stuff.
It's very good. Very, very good. Go ahead, Daniel.
There's a question in the chat for you, Joba, if you want to take it.
Okay.
By Spider86. It says, JMUGA. Well, we're going to take this in 3 parts, actually. So the first thing is, how do you know all of the other 28 children passed away?
Well, basically the hospital, since they saw me grow up with all of them, they actually, like the nurses and stuff, when I eventually, now to this day, eventually everybody told me, "Hey, they passed away." You know what I mean? They told me because they're like, why not? You've known them, you raised yourself with them. So they basically told me, like, in the corner, not in front of everybody, but they'll tell me in the office. I'll be like, "Hey, whatever happened to this person? Or whatever happened to that person?" And they said, that person passed away because they didn't do the proper treatment. They didn't continue with the medication, or whatever the case might be. So that's how I know.
And did you keep in contact with them? And were you close to their families?
No, I was not close to their family, and I couldn't keep in contact with them because, once again, I was always moving out and about. Like, I was always in New York. I was either in Connecticut. I was always back in Puerto Rico. So I was always moving. So I couldn't really keep in touch, but I always kept in touch with, like, the nurses and the hospital and all of that. And so that I really kept in touch with them instead of with the kids.
Okay, so let me flip the script a little bit. All kids go through stuff, as they're growing up, and a lot of people have different issues that they go through. Like, sometimes it's being awkward, not being able to date, or stuff like that, or maybe problems at home, and all that kind of stuff. So on top of just dealing with this infection for your whole life, is there anything else that you feel like you've had to struggle through and conquer while you're dealing with HIV as well?
Well, there's always a thing where you can't judge how your parents, how you can't control your parents' lives. So basically, me growing up, I saw obviously when they told my dad that he had the condition, he really started drinking and smoking because he couldn't handle the pain, and that's how he would basically kill the pain and whatever the case might be. My mother did the same thing. She always preferred a guy instead of me. So that's why I respect women that are single mothers or that pick their children, and they put their children before any guy. You know what I mean? Because guys come and go. You know what I mean? But I saw domestic violence in the relationship as well as growing up. I saw my father one time. He puts pork chops outside out of the freezer, and he went to work. And he made my milk or whatever the case might be. When he came back from work, the pork chop was still out, not cooked, and my milk was already rotten or whatever. After a while, it gets all messed up. And then he started cooking, and then he finished cooking the pork chop. The food is ready. My mother came running, tried to get the first dibs, as we say it out here in the U.S., the first dibs, and my father just poked her with the fork, boom, like in the mouth, and said, "My son eats first." You know what I mean? And now every single time I see my mother, she's still alive. Every single time I see like her lip, I see it, and it's a flashback of what it is, and I just say, I'm gonna better myself. I'm gonna be someone better than that. I don't need these. Like, God did not give me these two hands to hit a woman or to mistreat them. I use these hands to love whatever girl I'm with, or to love and to cater to them and everything else. So that basically, I just said I wanted to make it different again and change my dynamic of life. And I said, I can't continue the pattern. I gotta make it. I gotta make my own way and my own way of doing stuff.
That's powerful.
So that is very powerful. So right now, are you and your mom close?
Yes. So surprisingly, yes, me and my mother are very close, even though she was never in my life. But at the same time, it's like she's still far away because she's in Puerto Rico and I'm in the U.S. or whatever.
Okay. So that's beautiful.
You have some fans here. Said, Joe, but you're awesome. I'll feature this blab. Thank you, Porto. That's great. So, what else? So you mentioned your mom is still alive. Let me ask you about your mom. Was your mom infected? Is that how it works? Was your father was infected and passed it to your mom, and she then gave it to you? Is that
that's the thing that that's a question that we would never know. But obviously, as my grandma is my father is the son of my grandma, so she's always blaming it on my mother that he was nice and healthy and all this and all that, but then they got together and she infected him. So, but then my mother says otherwise. Oh, I was good, but your father infected me. But as I see life now as growing up with all the other boyfriends and people that she's with, they all, I mean, some died and some are still alive. So now it's like, is my mother telling me the truth or is my grandmother telling me the truth? So it's like, I don't know. So.
Right. So, I mean, I guess it goes back to what we were saying earlier about making sure that you know what your status is, whether you're healthy or not. You make sure that you protect yourself and protect other people that you're with. So you don't have to have this type of situation anymore, playing the blame game. You did it. No, you did it.
Right.
Yeah. And it doesn't even have to be as serious as HIV or AIDS. It can be, just a UTI, something that, just be careful. Be careful, right. Know your status, get tested, and be honest. Have conversations.
Right.
That's super important. So, so then your father passed.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And you have other family? brothers, sisters, that kind of stuff?
I have a sister, and the funny thing is, or the thing that I thank God about it is that she didn't get it. She's not HIV positive, or she's not infected at all, and her mother isn't either. So basically, I think that they told her, they were like, hey, X, Y, and Z, what I want you to do is for a week or two while you're being pregnant, drink this medication for a week. And apparently she did that, or she followed the procedures that they told her, and she doesn't have it anymore. Well, she doesn't have it at all, and my sister doesn't either. And what gets me a little bit frustrated is that my sister actually says, "Hey, Joe, or hey, bro, I really wish I had it so I could understand where you're coming from." That hurts,
Wow.
right? When my sister says, "I wish I had your condition so I could understand you a little bit more," I say, please, like, it just hurts me when I hear it. I say, please don't ever, 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 like, wish that upon any of your enemies or upon yourself, because I wouldn't want you to go through everything I went through, you know what I mean, to get to where I'm at now or today.
Wow. But then again, you know what? That shows how much she really loves and cares about you, though.
This is true.
I think just to want to, because I can say for a mother, at least, when your child is hurting, you want to take on that pain for them. You know what I mean?
Right.
You want to, even if it's like a fever or really bad stomach ache or something, and you see them and they're helpless and they can't do anything about it, you want to take that from them.
Right.
So I think that speaks a lot to you and the type of person that you are, that your sister would even say that type of thing, because she wishes she could have at least have that burden with you, to share it with you.
Right.
So I wanted to ask you, I want to just fast forward this a little bit. I found out that, during my research and stuff like that, because I want to be aware, of course, is that 13% of HIV affected individuals feel the need to disclose their status, right? So, and it could be because of fear of rejection, fear of discrimination, fear of violence. So what is it that made you, so amped to, and what do you tell those, what made you do it yourself as far as being so open and honest? And what do you tell those individuals that are part of that 13% that don't disclose because of fear?
I mean, fear is something that is really happening out here in the world, and people do get rejected. Like people, I mean, like I said, I don't discriminate, but I kind of in a way feel how gay people feel too, you know what I mean? And because they get discriminated as well because of their sexual preference or what they do or what they choose. So it's like, it's the same thing for us. It's like the reason why people don't tell nobody or share it with the world or tell people or disclose it is because they want to be loved. They want to be accepted. They want to be able to hug. They want to be able to make love to one another. They want to be able to feel like a human being. So they say, if I put a condom on, she'll be safe. You understand what I'm saying? So nothing's going to happen. And that's what they say, because obviously when you come and you tell a female as cute as Danielle or as cute as Leah or as cute as Tony or anybody or other women that are here, I mean, if they don't know about it, they'll just be like, no, stay away from me. Like, I don't even want to kiss you, or I don't want to get in the bedroom with you, or I don't want to do anything with you or move on from here because I don't want to get infected. And I'm like, why are you jumping to conclusions? If I'm telling you and I'm protecting you, that must be for a reason, because I'm giving you the information, and then we could go on this together. We could go to the hospital together. We could go to find out more information together. You know what I mean? But, if you don't, but at the same time, you can't force nobody to do something that they don't want to do. So that's probably why I think people don't share it or tell people about it, because they're just going to be like, oh, I don't want to be with you. I don't want to be in your life. I don't want to date you. I don't want nothing to do with you.
All right. So what then would you say to people who are living with HIV, maybe someone who just found out that they were infected, or somebody even like yourself who was born with the situation, what words would you give to offer encouragement or whatever to help keep them stay strong like you?
I just see it like this. Keep going day by day. Don't let nobody, control your life or tell you what to do. You know what I mean? And you're not $100 bill for everybody to like you once again. And another thing is this: you're a fish in the sea. You're swimming. You understand what I'm saying? You're swimming in the sea. You're a fish. You're one of a kind. But obviously, somebody like the bullies, as SJ said earlier, or somebody that's going to neglect you, is going to throw in a hook. You know what I mean? And then now you have an option. And that option is, are you going to bite into the hook and let him reel you in and cook you back home? or are you going to swim the other way and not let the bullying or not get the rejection to like get to you or bother you? Just swim the other way and say, I'm better than that. I'm better than the hook that you're throwing me to see if I could bite it so I could get cooked. No, I'm better than that. And, you just keep moving forward and do what you got to do. Tell them, you know what I mean? Just, don't hold back, because it could get worse. You know what I mean? If you don't tell somebody or whatever the case might be, before you know it, you get the police knocking on your door, and then you get 25 to life. You know what I mean? And I don't think that anybody wants to live behind a prison, in prison forever, or for lifetime, or not just being taken 5 or 10 minutes to just say, this is what's going on.
Wow, that's good.
It's heavy. So, all right. So let me ask you this. What then would you say, because your story is inspirational, not just to people who are infected, but to people everywhere, because you've lived through, odds that are all the way against you. You've had, rough home life situation, moving back and forth between hospitals and schools and family members and all of that. So then what would you tell to anybody to help them realize that, they're not alone, so to speak?
That you're not alone, that it's right. Like, you're not alone. I don't want to push God up on anybody, but God is a real thing. You know what I mean? I am a believer of God, or whatever the case might be. You don't have to go to church every time, but there is a God up there in the heavens, and they are He watches you and protects you, and you're not alone. You know what I mean? Don't feel. I mean, I know people do feel alone, like they don't have anybody, but that there is an angel, or there is somebody there at all times, even though you can't feel them or see them. So you're not alone.
That's awesome. SJ, did you have any other questions?
Yes. I know that you were very close to your grandmother, and she gave you. You were living with your grandmother at what age?
All my life. Yeah, like around 5, 4. You know what I mean?
So she was your mother. She was like essentially your mother. And she basically took you through everything that she wanted. But how much did you yearn for your mother's love? Like, because there's a lot of people, a lot of kids that don't have, or that want their mother's love or their father's love, and they don't get it. And how did you rekindle your relationship with your mom? And did you have any understanding after you rekindled your relationship with your mother, because you didn't have her?
I mean, well, obviously, like, social workers and everything else talked to me about it, and they were like, listen, when a person's using, drugs or in that lifestyle, they're sick. And basically when they are sick, they're not themselves. So I just said to myself, and I have to forgive, because if God died on the cross for all of us and for all of our mistakes and everything else, and forgave everybody, why can't I do it for my mother? You know what I mean? I think everybody deserves a second chance or 3 chances or whatever. You know what I mean? And that's what made me forgive her. And I know that she was sick. She wasn't herself. And that's what made me forgive her.
So when then were you able to kind of reconnect with your mom, and did you all have that conversation?
I mean, yeah, we talked about it and everything else, and we did rekindle, and me and my mother never had a issue like when we became together or when we came together, we never had a problem because she was not overprotective as much as my grandmother was. You know what I mean? Like my mother would just be like, listen, I don't know, yeah, go out with that girl and have fun and be careful. And that's it. You understand? She was not like, hey, what's her social security number? What's her, you know what I mean? Where does she live at? Does she go to church? Does she not go to church? So that's what makes me like so attached to her, because she's not so overprotective. You know, my mother's like mellow and chilled and, you know, stuff like that. So I think that's what makes my relationship with her so strong.
That's awesome. You have a question in the comments. Did you ever visit a facility for support, or was it all just your family?
I did visit in the Bronx when I was living over there. They had a support group and everything else, but it was an all boys group. And we all the boys was basically trying to fight for it to be co-ed. But obviously, since my father passed away, when he passed away, all of that finished because my grandmother was like, hey, I do not want you to get lost in the New York world with drug usage and everything else. So she said, we're moving to Connecticut. And I'm like, you know, great, here we go again. You know what I mean? Type thing. You know, here we go again. And I'm like, oh, Lord. So that support group stopped. But over here in Connecticut, there is none because, I mean, there is a lot of support groups, but for other situations or other things that I'm not going to get into, but not for teenagers or people like myself.
Awesome.
We got a lot of people
yeah.
proud of you, Stu, which it's a big thing because you are honest and you are forthcoming. There is a question here from Team Event 2015, which says, would you like to have a family in the future?
I would, but it all depends. It all depends on how the female is, and how, I mean, it all depends on the female. You know what I mean? I can't, you know, put a gun into the female's mind or head and be like, yo, you're gonna date me and you're gonna be like my baby mama and stuff like that. So I mean, I just see it like this, that it all depends on the woman, Leon. You know what I mean? And if she's willing to ride, and there's a physical attraction, and there's always like that communication going on, and that chemistry and that fire in the relationship, and it's like 100 in the relationship. It's I could do it. I could see myself in the family in the future, but as of right now, no, I don't see that happening right now.
You got time. No rush, right? You have another question from Team Event. He said, would you like to adopt? That's a good question.
I mean, that is a good question. I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind adopting. I wouldn't have a problem with it. So, yeah.
All right. This has been fascinating and wonderful, but I think we're going to open up the love seat and let people jump in and ask questions, just so it's more interactive. We don't want to just be talking and let you all listen. So I'm going to open up the seat, and please feel free to come in with your questions, comments for Joba. Fredo just asked, should disclosure of HIV status be decriminalized? Meaning, when people don't tell their status, should they be, because right now, if you don't tell your status in certain states, you could be charged with criminal in sometimes federal type cases. Yes. So how do you feel about that?
Well, Porto, I think that there's people out here that are malicious. You know what I mean? And they know they do it, but they don't care. They're like heartless. So I think that the people that are heartless and don't really care about the other person, I think that they should still get punished for that, because it's like, what the heck? But you know what I mean? If the person tells somebody and I think that's the best way. So yeah, I would say that it's fine the way it is. I think that it should stay the way it is.
Okay. So you want to?
It is
The
open.
seat's open. The seat is open. So jump in that seat. Don't make me call you names.
Click the box, people. Click the box. Don't be afraid. We don't bite.
And just real quick, Joe, but your father died when?
2005? 2005? 2005.
2005. So you saw his decline, and as far as him not like how was
Brian, hop in. Brian, hop in and answer that question.
How was your father's reaction to it?
To what? To having a condition?
Yeah. And did he decline? Because you said you saw his decline.
Well, his reaction was, like I said, smoking, drinking, going to alcohol, going to drug usage, and everything else. And yes, I did see him. Yes, I did see him pass away. He died in my room. Wow. So I did see the whole process of him dying.
And how did that affect you? How did you feel about that?
Well, I mean, it was very hard for me. Like I had to hold up my tears because my family members were like, "Yo, Joba, you know that if you start crying like crazy, it's gonna affect your grandma." So I always worry about everybody else except myself. So I said, okay, I would hold my my tears and everything else back, but it hurt. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? It really hurt, but it's part of life. I knew it was coming already. So and then when he passed away, I said, I know that he's in a better place and he's not suffering anymore. So that's basically what calmed me down and what made me at ease, because I knew that he wasn't going to suffer any longer.
Okay. And that's good. Go ahead.
Hi, Brian. Welcome.
Hello. How are you?
Thank you for joining us on the record. Appreciate you so much. I appreciate you. So you had a question for Joba, did you?
So where's your health right now?
Well, right now, thank you, Brian, for your question. Well, right now I'm undetectable. So right now, what that means for the people that want to know what undetectable means is that I have very, very like very small chances of spreading it on to somebody else or to my significant other or passing it on, and that I could actually have a family. Like, let's say she does get pregnant, or let's say it went down to that. She would not get infected because they'll probably tell her for a week or two to drink a medication. And then the baby or the kid that I have, or the daughter or whatever, would be HIV negative. Like, they would not be born with it. So that's where I'm at right now.
But I think the important thing, I'm sorry, Brian, for some people who are listening or might see this in the future, undetectable doesn't mean not infected anymore. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean cured. Right. There is still an opportunity to pass on the infection, but right. There is a way to protect right. someone who is HIV negative from right. acquiring it from an undetectable person.
Right, exactly.
So again, know your status, take preparations, be precautious about, how you never ever take your health in jeopardy. So if you're in a relationship with somebody who is HIV positive, but they're undetectable, don't take that as I can't get it. Right. So right, Joba, that's what it does.
I mean, like I said, don't take it as you can't say that you can't get it, but at the same time, let's say after the procedure happens, you could go to your doctor, or I would go, or the person would go with you to the doctor, and they'll put you on a regimen or a treatment for like a week or two. It's not like a lifetime thing. Like, that's what I have. Like, I have a lifetime thing that I have to drink or be on a treatment for the rest of my life. But you or the significant other would just be on it for a week or two. And if you do follow the proper procedures, it will be like a coating. It will be like a protectee, or it will be like a cleaner. Like, the medication will clean you, and then it will protect the baby as well. You understand?
Right.
So then, after the week is over, or after whatever the process is over, you are protected, so you don't have it any longer, and then the baby won't have it at all. So, yeah.
Okay.
So how do you deal with parents of the girl that you're dating when they find out? Is that hard? Is that easy? What's the situation with that?
Like I said, I just see it like this. I am not $100 bill for everybody to like me. Like I always say that. And whoa, where did she go?
That was a sneeze. Oh.
So I would sit down to their parents, Brian, and tell them, hey, listen, would you prefer for your daughter? Would you prefer for your daughter somebody not to tell them that they were born with HIV, or would you prefer your daughter to be with somebody that's really being honest, open, and trying to protect your daughter to tell them that they were born with HIV and that they have HIV, and and then that's when I put the parents to think of like, you're right, you got a point.
Right, because I think that you dealt with a lot of, I wouldn't say rejection, but you were during your early years in high school, and you said that bike incident might bit you. Did your grandmother think it was best for you to be homeschooled, or did you just continued on as far as like what did they have any type of were you protected in that sense of maybe being homeschooled or continuing another path of education?
I mean, after that, I just came back to the States, or I came here. That's when we actually moved. When that big thing happened, we just decided to move it to the States, and then I just continued studying here at the States. So basically, people didn't really know. People. All right, Brian. Thank you for your question. People, they knew about it, but it was like totally different. Like over here, they it was more comfortable. So I went to public schools.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else who wants to jump into the love seat, please feel free. You can ask any question for JMUGA or for ourselves. If you want to just come in, say hi, and say how awesome he is, you're welcome to do that too.
Yes, please. I would really appreciate it. Tony, even yourself, Tony.
We have
even yourself.
Here.
Now Tony gonna cry.
Team Event 2015 asks, how
Leon,
long do you have to take medication, and what are the side effects?
Not even cam ready. How long do you have to? I have to take medications until they come and they have a cure, because there's no cure as of right now for HIV, just yet. And what are the side effects? I mean, once your body is used to something, it's no effects, because it's already accustomed to it. So I don't have no side effects right now.
So you've been taking medications. I'm not gonna get too much into it, but how many medications do you have to take a day?
It'd be 4 twice a day.
4 different medicines twice a day.
Yeah.
And so I guess whatever Leon was asking is like, some of them make you sleepy, some of them make you hungry, some of them make you not hungry.
None. It doesn't do anything. Meds for what Eileen says, and we're talking about HIV.
She just got here.
Yeah, I am HIV positive, I guess you could say, and we're talking about drinking medication or treatment for HIV. So
and
yeah.
For those who don't know, he did not contract it do his life. He was born with it.
Yeah.
So that's something that's more inspiring, and because he had to deal with it all his life. So
right.
That's the difference.
Puerto or Leon, if you all want to come into the chat box, please feel free. I mean, we're happy to read your questions.
I know you both got cameras. I know you both got cameras, people. Don't act like I don't got cameras now.
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared. We don't bite. Okay, there he is right there. There we go. Thank you, Leon, for stopping by. Give it a minute.
He's coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Tell a friend to tell another friend to tell another friend to tell another friend.
Tell a friend to tell a bunch of friends. This is educational, inspiring, and I love Joba for allowing us to be able to get into his story, because he does have an excellent and wonderful story, and it's a story for all of us, because 20% of HIV people are not aware of their status. That's why it's very important for you to get checked, know your status, and it's encouraging to know that JMUGA is coming out right off the bat,
so to speak.
Yes,
so to speak,
and saying this is what it is. I'm not $100 bill for everybody, but love me. You know, if you love me, you love me. If you don't, you don't.
Right, correct. There he is.
Wow.
Hey, Leon, welcome to Living Your Purpose.
Yo.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure to be here with you all guys. And one of these, just about, I think I'm not looking camera ready. I'm just a mess.
You
just
made it.
By the way. I've just got up after, my 12 hours, excuse me. I just come on and explain what I'm talking about. Java, once again, I fully appreciate you coming up with this really trivial topic, because, I think a lot of people are very, very surprised about it. And I don't even know where to start. Honestly, I'm just trying to think. But again,
take your time, Leon. Take your time.
The questions are, and I think a lot of people are sort of very not knowledgeable on this topic. So this is what I'm trying to break down and trying to answer questions that we can't. We're afraid to ask. Because we don't know. There's not no book out there to say X, Y, Z. Some people may be working in industries to say, what do we say? What do we do? What? I'm just lost. I mean, when people approach you, how do you get offended? What are the common things that people say to you?
I just see it like this. I mean, when people approach me, they can't even tell nothing. You know what I mean? They can't. You can't tell by just looking at me. But when I tell them about my situation, they always either 50% or 30% of them just reject me. They just be like, "Nah, get away from me," or whatever the case may be. And then it's very rare. It's like 10% or 15% out of the people actually stay. And those, and believe it or not, those people that actually stay, I respect them more than the people that leave. You know what I mean? Because it takes a real person. It takes a real strong individual to say, no matter what you have, no matter what it is, I'm sticking by you no matter what, because you were brave enough to inform me about your status, and you try to protect me, and I respect them more. I give them a lot of props and respect.
So I think the question that you asked earlier, Leon, was, have you ever forgotten to take your meds? And does that affect you? My follow-up to that is, how does that affect you if it does?
Yes, I one time I was so frustrated with life, and everything was just going wrong. Everything was just going wrong, and for me in my regular life. So I guess I went into depression, going back to what SJ said earlier. So I just said, you know what, I want to die. Like, I want to end it. I don't want to keep, suffering. So what I did was I stopped drinking my medication or my situation, and all I used to do was sleep day and night. Like, I used to hate when people used to be like, "Hey, Joba, you gotta go to the laundromat, or we have to go to grocery shopping." I used to hate it because I used to be like sleepwalking, as you could say. And then when I went back home, it was just like, okay, we're done. Okay, I'm going back to bed. Boop. So that basically is like your body shutting down. You know what I mean? Your body shutting down, and that's basically what it does when you don't take, your proper medication or take care of yourself.
Well,
and you said that's what happened with life. Life got you to that point. Like you said, life got you to that pinnacle.
I mean, yeah, because like I said, when you have parents on your back telling you, you know what I mean, do this, do that, do this, do that, and why are you not doing this, and eat this and eat that and eat. I'm not 5. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like when you hear do this, do this, do this, and you're not doing it wrong, and you're wrong, and you're wrong, and you're always wrong, it frustrates you. It's like, you know what? So since I'm wrong, then that means I'm not. What's the purpose of me being here? Like, you know what I mean? If you don't like, if everything I do is wrong, and you don't like nothing that I do, I'm just gonna end it. You know what I mean? And but then obviously when I got a second chance or a third chance, my keys for this apartment was coming. They were like, hey, we're gonna give you an apartment of your own. You're gonna work at a radio station at that point. You're gonna have your own car. That's positivity. So that gave me motivation to get back on my treatment, and now this is where we're at now.
Do you feel alienated from the world, should I say? You know.
Sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. You know what I mean? I feel like I can't change the way people think about this condition, you understand, or how they view me. But at the same time, I say that I try to make them or educate them so they would accept me. But I do feel like like nobody wants to be around me. Nobody wants to call me. Nobody wants to take me here. Nobody wants to take me there. So yeah, I feel like I'm just a loner in life. And I think it's because, and then I always go back to, could it be because of my condition? And if it is, well, it is what it is. I can't do nothing about it.
Do you work with any support groups, or do you have any sort of network at all?
I see Blab as a support, network and support group, and SJ and Danielle and Lorraine and life coach Leah and Ken Dixon and everybody else that I've met through Blab and Periscope over there as well. I've met wonderful people there. It's called Pure KC Designed, Sal Jonas Martinez, Ryan Kettering. So it's like I got all these different support systems that I love and I appreciate and I'm happy for. So I just see as the internet more supportive as the real world. Like even my own family don't be in my life like that. You know what I mean?
And why are they not in your life like that?
I mean, they say, hey, Joe, but you want to be independent, so you do you. You understand what I'm saying? You're on your own now. You know what I mean? Because this is all you wanted your whole time or your whole life. So now you're on your own. So since you're on your own, we're not. You know what I mean? We're not. Even for Thanksgiving, that just happened a few days ago. My aunt didn't even call me and invite me to go to her house and eat food. You know what I mean? I had to go. I had to get my pants really strong together, and I was like, open the door, Nick. I mean, open the door, let me get some food, because if not, then I would have not. I mean, even though other people invited me to eat, but I did it. You know, when you're used to Hispanic food, it's like that's all you want to do is eat Hispanic food. So, yeah.
All right, so we have a couple more questions in the chat. Puerto asks, what's the cost of your medication and does insurance cover it?
Yes, it does cover it, but it could be very expensive. It could be up to $300, $400, $500 for each bottle that you get separately.
So that's like, oh my gosh. So $300 to $500 per, like, was it for like 30 days or something like that? For about a month. And you said you take 4 medications, so let's do the math on that. You're talking about up to $2,000.
Yeah.
Up to $2,000 American for just to stay alive.
Wow.
Well, thankfully, but you have insurance that covers it, or at least most of it.
Right, yeah.
Okay, and Eileen asked, Joba, is your purpose to spread HIV awareness?
Yeah.
Yes, I believe so. Yes, I mean, I think that. Like right now, what we're doing right now, or what I'm doing right now, I love it. You know what I mean? It makes me feel good. It makes me feel powerful, like Superman. So it does. It's like therapy for me, or therapeutic, or whatever you call it.
Maybe.
Very good.
Have you ever thought of writing a book or doing a TV show, or what's the job for 2016, 17, and years beyond?
And on and on. I mean, like I said, Leon, I got dyslexia too. I mean, we go back to I mean, I know that Danielle and SJ wanted to touch a little bit upon that. So, dyslexia is like when you see a M, and it's really a W, but it looks like a M. Or if you see a M, you think it's a W. Or like math situation is like if I go to the store with $20 and something costs $7.99. If you give me the right change or not, I'm just gonna leave out the door. Like I'm just gonna be like, okay, bye. As long as I get money back that I know I'm gonna get, it could be wrong and it could be not right. It could be right and it could be wrong. I could just leave leave like that. So that's part of what dyslexia does to me, and that's why books are really hard for me to write, because I could write it one way, but then the actual human being like SJ or Danielle or yourself, Leon, would be like, huh? What is he saying? Or what is that? And what does this mean? And what does that mean? Because they don't understand my handwriting.
That's all right. I mean, when we write books in the day, we get, a ghostwriter. You just was talking and they write it. Don't worry about that situation. A book will be for you.
But I don't mind. I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind writing a book.
One more question, and I'll get out of the hot seat because I know these topics are very, very
love
pressing.
seat, Leon. Here, living your purpose. That's the love seat.
It's the love seat. Oh,
yes.
Okay, stand corrected. Okay, by the hosts. When you go for a job, I mean, when you're in that, I'll call it a love seat. Yeah, seat facing the employer. I mean, how difficult is it at that time when you've got to disclose that key one message? I know there's not a little box you can tick or something like that. I mean, how do you go about it, and how do you feel at that moment?
When I go to a job, I mean, they really, I really try not to say it. You understand what I'm saying? Because I think that they would basically be like, okay, you can't work with us. Like, what I mean? Like there's people that will be like, if you have a seriously condition like that, we can't hire you. So that even where it comes into the whole job, it comes to the job thing too. You know what I mean? It comes to the job that if you was to be like, listen, I'm saying this because I want to work with you guys, and if I get cut, God forbid, or something, I want people to know. They'd be like, nope, we don't want you in my business. I don't want you in my company. I don't want you to get nobody sick. And I'm like, okay, all right, fine, you got it. So it's like that's why sometimes it's not really good to tell them, because then you will lose the chance to work.
Wow.
I don't know what to say. Listen, I'm going to get out of the seat because I got loads of questions. And I'm going to give me the opportunity to really go. But once again, I really want to thank you for what you're doing here. It's a very, very powerful message. Keep your head up and keep doing what you got to do. There's a lot more in this world for you. As you said, there's going to be lots of opportunities coming your way. So just look out for the best one and keep your head up. Thank you,
Leon, for everything. Thank you, Leon, for everything. Yeah.
Thank you, Leon.
Anybody else that wants to get in the love seat?
The love seat is still open and available. I don't even care what time it is. Normally, I would have said, "What's the time check? Time check. What time is it?" I don't even care. We're just gonna rock it out.
Spider said, "I know you're in Connecticut currently. I know you lived in New York City at one point. Have you ever done an AIDS walk?"
Yes, I have, Spider. Yes, I have. I remember when me and my mom, we did it one year, and I was just like, I felt like my feet was gonna fall out. I felt like, I thought my whole body was gonna come because our legs were just shot. You know what I mean? And but yeah, I was like, I'll do it again. I'll do it again without no problem. But I've done it before.
That's good. We have those people who want to have questions, please come into the love seat.
Come on in the seat.
And,
click the box. Click the box.
And get educated, because this is definitely an inspired story.
Yvette, I know you got a camera. Come on, Yvette. Come on, give me your face. Give me your face, Yvette. Come on.
Face.
But she did say in the meantime.
Here she comes.
I actually am about to walk out the door, so I just want to ask a question real quick.
She's pretty.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's the question I asked. Can you share it? Educate? It's more so of an education thing. And understand, sir, we've had a conversation, Joba, and understand that nothing gets missed. Understand that. You remember I told you I wasn't going to put all your business out there. You were telling your own business the next day. Just saying. But nothing gets missed. But what my question was to you is, can you educate the people on the Ryan White insurance and how it really helps give benefits and needed care and picks up the cost of those medications. Some of those medications can be $70,000. And if it wasn't for Ryan White's insurance program, people wouldn't get the necessary care. And you also speak to the fact of how the insurance, it's one thing to tell people you have it, but they need to understand how it works and, how it brings down your viral count to nothing. So you're really not giving HIV to people and things like that. Can you share that with people?
I mean, like I said, the Ryan White, I've heard about that. I have. But that they help. Well, they help me. Like, let's say I have not for the light, or let's say I don't have X amount of money or not enough money for the light or whatever. I go to this other agency called Medfield Fields AIDS Project. It's called MFAP, and they go to Ryan White, and then Ryan White helps them to help people like us. For whatever, medications or light bill or rent or whatever the case might be. So it does, Yvette is very educated on that department. So it does, they're there to help people. Yeah.
I mean, but more so, what would you say to somebody if they were watching this and they just found out this week that they're HIV positive? What's your message to them?
Well, my message to them would be, go to your doctor. It's not the end of the world, as you might think. Go to your doctor, talk to them, and get informed. Or if you're seeing this, you get on a treatment that the doctor puts you on. If the doctor says, hey, drink medication for twice a day, and for 2-3 months, do it, and then it's not the end of the world. You just do the treatment, and then before you know it, you'll be undetectable, and it'll be all good.
And I think to just expand on what Yvette's saying is that there are resources available. Some people who may not be as well educated about, they know there is treatment, but they don't know how to go about it. And all we know is it's really, really expensive, right? So to be aware of the fact that there are several resources out there for people, not just through social services or Social Security, but there's independent AIDS foundations, and there are like the Ryan White Foundation and the insurance that helps you to make it through. Because I know everybody doesn't have $100,000 to pay for medication, for a year,
Right.
And I think that back then, as JMUGA was saying, back then when you had the HIV virus, it was considered a death sentence. So
yes.
Now with the new stuff that's coming out now and the medications that are more, more able to, people are able to use it and get, like, sometimes take one medication or maybe two medications or whatever the case may be. I think that him going beyond his 18th birthday, now 25, I think that shows that, HIV is not a death sentence. But I think it's all about education and knowledge. And I think even with the stigma that people still have now in 2016, you would think it wouldn't be that way. But however, right. It's still a lot of uneducated individuals not scared to even go in and get tested. But this is something that is definitely something important for Joba to even come out to let them know that no, this is not a death sentence. No, this is not the end of the world. No, there's medication for it, and you can live through. You can still live your purpose even regardless of whatever you got going on.
Right.
That's it.
Right. Yeah.
It's amazing to see how it's. I mean, because I might be the only one in the room old enough to remember when Ryan White was headlines and getting the top 5 parents. And don't share a soda, don't split a popsicle, don't all this kind of stuff, because they didn't think how it was passed. And to watch how it evolved, and and having met people and counseled people who have been born with it or got it and have been basically healed from it in terms of the viral count is down to 0 and they're able to live a regular life. There's a young man on here, Strive to Thrive, who this is his whole, he teaches and educates around the world about how he has lived a life, and he's gotten married and he has kids, and it's less than. So I'm so glad for you, Yoba, that you were actually on here sharing it, because it's a different relational to a different generation who may not understand it, who grew up with the taboo of it that only gay people and nasty people got AIDS, as opposed to, HIV does not always come into AIDS, and it doesn't have to because of the advances of medication and the advances of science. So thanks for sharing your story. Thanks for being vulnerable, because there's always a powerful message and testimony when the people are transparent in their truth. So thank you, sir, for living your purpose. And I'm going to go, girl, because I got to go. But y'all have a good night.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much,
Thank
Yvette.
you so much. Thank you so much. And we definitely appreciate you, Joe, but that you're getting a lot of people are now aware of what's going on. That's a good thing.
Yeah, you got a lot of support, a lot of positive energy coming your way, apparently. If there's anybody else that wants to jump into the love seat while we have a few more, I think I'm going to do this, shut it down in a couple minutes because I'm getting uncomfortable physically, and we can go off the record and do the after blab.
Okay.
But if anybody else wants to come in while we are still recording, please do.
Uh-oh. JB. How you doing,
Hola,
sir?
Juan, ¿cómo está? Hey, we're on the record and this is going on YouTube. Watch your mouth. Just kidding.
YouTube. Guys, I love for you, JB. At the end of the day, you want to gossip, and we all love each other for who we are and what we make of ourselves. Remember that. You're young, you're a little dumb, ugly, but it's okay. We still love you, though.
Rude.
Just kidding, though. JB, you know I got much love for you, and I've sent every prayer possible in my heart. You're unique.
Thank you, Juan. Thank you, Juan.
God will judge for everything you do in life.
Thank you, Juan. Really appreciate you.
And remember, we're young and we're still strong, and we will do whatever it takes to make it right.
Yeah, man.
That's
Excellent.
it.
Wow.
Thank you, Juan. That was beautiful.
Juan.
Appreciate
I stay
you.
positive, Danielle.
I know. I'm just fooling with you. But thank you.
What you're doing, bro, is very positive to the young youth. It's giving them a powerful message to understand what life is, living with it.
Yeah.
So embrace it and challenge yourself to educate those who are blindsided by it.
Right. That's what I'm trying to do, Juan. That's what I'm trying to do.
Amazing job, and don't
Thank
stop.
you.
And you have our 100% support from all of us.
Thank you very much, Juan.
You know, Team Date Show, we got you.
Hi, bro.
All right, guys. You have a blessed day, guys.
You too.
You too.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Juan. Appreciate you.
No problem. Bye.
Quick.
Okay.
You were speaking about and I think that this was a really good point. You said that you, at any point, if you were to be that negative individual, whatever the case may be, that you said you have control over somebody's life. You made that very clear. I wanted you to, because there's a lot of people that when they get the status, they feel like angry and they want to just give everybody it and don't tell nobody. We got a lot of cases where a woman gets infected and infects 500 men that they, and has no care in the world. How do you speak to those individuals, or how do you see yourself when you say that you at one point could do the same thing? So just speak on that as far as what's going on with people not letting others know their status, and just because of anger.
I mean, I see it like this. SJ, that's a good question. I see it like this. 2 wrongs don't make a right. You know what I mean? And I just see it as, like, you know what I mean? What do you get out of it? You understand what I'm saying? I just see it as, what do you get out of, passing it on or infecting other people? Like, it's not a good feeling. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like, it could get worse, you know what I mean? Because eventually, sooner or later, they'll ask the person, who was the last person that you had intercourse with, or who was the last person you shared needles with, or whatever the case might be. And sooner or later, you could block the person. You know what I mean? You could block the person. You could not change your name and everything else, but you can't do it with the state. You know what I mean? Or in general, like, you know what I mean? They have you in every police headquarters. All they gotta put is your name, and they'll find you. And then they'll be like, "Hey, open the door." And then you say, "Who the heck is it?" Police. And it's like, what the hell? Like, what did I do? And then they say, "Oh, you remember Shaquanda?" And I'm like, "What do you? Yeah, what about her?" "Oh, you didn't tell Shaquanda that you were HIV positive or HIV whatever. She's sick now. She's almost dying. Now you're under arrest because it's your fault. You was the last person that she was with, and it just all leads back to you." Okay. So it could be worse.
So how do you speak to those ones who may have just gotten it, young, and they're at this point angry?
Anger is not a good thing, because, like I said, it could get worse than it is now. You know what I mean? You might think that you got away with it, but if you do wrong could come back to you. That's what karma is for. You know what I mean? So you give bad, you get bad karma back. You understand what I'm saying? So sooner or later, they're gonna catch you. They're gonna hunt you down. Look at what happened to Charlie Sheen. You know what I mean? He was living life, going crazy and doing it well, and sure, now they want to take all his money and ruin his career.
So, question.
Hold on, you got two questions, yeah.
Oh, okay. So you want to take it up? Go ahead.
So, do you have to report your HIV status to any organization?
No, because that's what my Medfield Fields AIDS project, or that's what MFAP would do. That's their job. You know what I mean? So from one organization, they're basically like my lawyers or my representative when it comes to that, and then they'll pass it on. Obviously, they'll tell me, "Hey, do you give permission for me to disclose your stuff, to this other organization?" And then I'll say yes or no. Okay. So they'll ask me first.
So then the next question that Leon had was, have you ever felt of leaving the USA to go to another country?
No, not at all. I mean, I like the USA. The only thing I don't like is the cold, but you know what I mean? It is what it is. But if they were to ask me to be like, "Hey, come speak at another country," or come, speak about it and tell people about it in other countries, I'll be more than glad to. I don't mind it.
That's great.
Yeah, there's your question. There's your answers.
All right, I'm going to do a countdown. We're going to open up the love seat. Well, the love seat is open, but it is available for anyone else who wants to hop in, answer questions or ask questions, or just show some love to Joba for sharing his story. I want to say personally, again, thank you so much for joining us on Living Your Purpose. It's always a pleasure to have you here, but now you get an opportunity to really show people who Joba is, not just that crazy guy that says, "I'm not even going to do it. I can't do it like you do it." Not just the guy with all the crazy, super ridiculous energy, but who the real person is behind that. So thank you for that.
And thank you for coming on the show. Definitely. Do you want us to reintroduce for those who are new?
Well, yeah, sure. For anybody who's just now coming in, or anybody who is new to Living Your Purpose, my name is Danielle K. Anderson, also known as Danielle the VP. I'm an entrepreneur, interfaith minister, spiritual counselor, life coach, and many other things. And it is my purpose to help people to look good, feel good, find and live in their own purpose. And my esteemed colleague and co-host.
Yes, it's SJ from Inner Soul Development. That is my company. I'm a personal life coach and transformational speaker. What I do is I take you off autopilot to get you off course to your greater self. I find that missing piece to your puzzle that you consider a rough life, but it's actually beautiful and amazing once you know how to work it. So we love to have people live in their purpose, find their journey, and get the results that they been desiring and wanting, and we get it. We make it stick. and we have Joba here. You know, amazing guy. And just for people who don't know Joba, real quick, who are you?
Well, my name is Joba. My real name is Jobani. And I go by JMUGA. I am just a guy that's trying to make a difference in people's lives and that is trying to help people and get informed about HIV or HIV awareness or HIV situations. And that's basically it. You know what I mean? If you want to have more information, or if you want to know more, if you want to talk, or if you want to do whatever, my Twitter is JMUGA. And then we go take it from there. Follow me, and then I'll follow back, and then we'll talk business.
We have a question. For those who know, the Love Seat is open. For those who want to show their faces and ask a question, he is transparent. So therefore, it wouldn't be a bother. But the question is, are you looking to date a girl that's positive as well, or how do you feel about
that? That's a good question, Keenan. That's another thing that people get confused. There is girls out here that do have the condition and that are it. But once again, I mean, Danielle, may I use you as an example, please,
Sure.
for a quick minute?
Absolutely.
Danielle's body system and the way her body works is totally different than mine. And my body function is completely different than SJ's, body function. So basically, if she is HIV positive, her system, it's good within herself. But then if I come into the mix, I could get her to mess up even more. Like the virus would evolize even more. It would get more powerful to her. Yeah, multiply to her, or vice versa. Like if she's strong, if her thing is stronger than mine and it comes into my body, guess what? I could probably get worse than I already am and not be as detectable as I am now, undetectable, I mean, and it would mess up my system. So everybody's system is different.
Awesome.
Excellent. So what I think that we should do, because there's already 2 hours.
Yeah. Have we really been going for 2 hours?
Yes, 2 hours.
What?
So
That's a record.
which is great, which is beautiful. We love you guys, and we love that you have stuck around. This is a great story. This is a great story, and we really need you guys to get educated on it. But what we're going to do is we're going to shut down, right? And then we're going to do an after blab. Now, the after blab is always the best, but we're going to do an after blab just for the show's sake. And,
we're going to have to break this up into a 2-parter for the podcast.
Yeah, maybe a part 2. I think that's a good idea. I think that's a great idea.
Fantastic.
So, we'll shut it down. Once again, you can start, and
Thank you, everyone, so much for joining us for Living Your Purpose. This is episode 11. We're so excited. We're really happy that you joined us. We really, really are proud to say that we had JMUGA as our first official guest on Living Your Purpose. What a way to start a pattern. And so, little plug, little promo. Next week, episode 12, we will have another special interview. SJ will be talking to, who is it? Who are you talking to? Me. Me. So we're going to...
I'm going to get into it. I'm going to get in deep.
Other way.
With Danielle K. Anderson and find out what she is, who she is, what she represents, and so that you guys can know exactly more about her and her mission in living your purpose and helping others live her purpose. So that's a good show. It's going to be next Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be the interviewer. I might even have Joba co-host with me.
Lord.
So I would ask Joba if he's okay with that, and we'll have a good show come on Sunday coming up. So this is SJ from Inner Soul Development. And I'm a personal life coach and transformational speaker. We love you. We appreciate you. Live in your purpose. Love who you are, and continue to stay with us throughout the whole entire journey of living your purpose.